Let's go.
Hello.
Andre, Aiden. Sebastian, you weren't here last time, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
And then we got Chris Harris joining here, who's their supervisor, I think, right?
Yeah, he should be
That's
joining.
right.
Yeah, I sent him the
Yes.
link.
Right.
Yeah.
Is everyone camera off today, or what's
We
the
can leave
vibe?
the camera on.
My laptop is broken, so I don't have anything with a camera right now.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah. It woke up dead, which it will. I guess I think the motherboard fried or something. A bit of an old laptop.
Whoa, Sebastian, are you intentionally trying to do that?
Oh, sorry. Is something happening?
Yeah.
Is it bad?
It's a
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Technicolor dance party on your
Absolutely.
screen.
Something's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
happening, yeah.
I have a lot of problems with the Zoom, but I don't really have problems with Teams. It's weird.
Sorry, I'm not a Teams guy, but
All good. Yeah, that's what happens when I enable my camera.
oh,
So,
wicked. Well, hello, welcome. I know it's your first meeting. I got Rajveer. Hello, Chris Harris. Been informed you're the supervisor for this team.
I am the faculty supervisor, that's correct.
Right on. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
For joining. Let me just check. Is this everybody? How are we doing?
Good. How about you? Pretty good. You?
Good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. We got. Where's my agenda for today? Uh-huh. We got Eden, Rajveer, Andre, Marcus, Tommy, okay, cool. Right on. All right, well let's jump into it. I was communicating with, I think it was it you, Andre? Who just said, "Hey, here's what's coming." Sebastian.
Sebastian.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Sebastian. Thanks for that note. Maybe a good time is any to talk about communications. Do you guys, when you guys are communicating with each other as a team, is it mostly via email?
Oh, it's Discord.
Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And I gotta get this. Let me share my screen. I'll bring up the agenda today. We got my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
We can see your screen, yeah.
Awesome. I'm just going to post it. We got everybody. We got a guest. Chris Harris is here today. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to start off just talking about where we left off last meeting. And then some items that were in there. If there's any, I want to talk a little bit about roles within the team. We touched base about it a little bit last time. And then I think the team update on kind of achievables, maybe we'll call them.
Like on deliverables, on like
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did send around the NDA. It's pretty standard. It was provided last time I worked, so 2023. It was provided. It's pretty standard. The way it works is it's like a waterfall. So someone signs it, and then it goes to the next person.
Okay.
So it's stuck with somebody. and you should be probably receiving a reminder every 2 days is what I set it to.
Do you know who it's stuck on right now?
Yeah, 1 sec.
But if you want, do you want to quickly go over like what the NDA covers, what we're allowed to say about the project after, just to clarify with us and make sure we understood it?
Yeah, we could. I could open it up. We could go through it. It's a lot of content for today.
Okay.
Take a look through it. I don't anticipate any issues. It says you want to talk about it, talk about it. You want to talk about it in your student project, your portfolio, fantastic. We'd love for you to talk about it. You want to copy the code, don't copy the code and send it. You know what? Like it's pretty much like you've done great work. Please talk about it. There's certain items that we don't want to share.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Where is
Sorry,
the
my sorry?
I'm just trying to refine the document so I can look at it.
Yeah, it's been sent to Amendoza 39. Who's that? Oh, that's Andre. Is that you, Andre? Yeah. Okay. Oh, there we go. It just got signed. So then, thank you for the demonstration, Andre.
Sorry, I forgot to sign the last two at the bottom. I thought it was just the first one.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's well, thank you for signing it. It's if you do have, and it's okay if you want to, if you're like, I have a question about this, that's fine. I can talk about it. You might want to talk, I don't know, internally, you know, Chris, if that's something you can field questions on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But take a look through it. Be in touch if there's any concerns. If not, let's pass along that waterfall. So it ends up at the we end up signing it. Okay, so there was an invitation sent over to Google Drive. You're gonna find access in here. Has everyone had a chance, or maybe we should do? Has anyone not had a chance to go into Drive and and look around?
I took a cursory glance. I made sure to like accept all the invites and then just take a look at each one, but I didn't dive deep into the documents there.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something, maybe it's pretty vast. You guys have a lot going on. Let me know. I can direct you. Kind of help you navigate this folder. You guys were invited to Asana, right? And then so in here, I'll just bring that up for a second. Okay, so here's our Asana. Again, this is a lot of the way that they built it out in the last kind of student group that we worked with at BCIT. So it was really broken down into the different tabs from within the application. Maybe not traditional, but yeah, I know you guys had said you're familiar with using Trello, so we can
Yes.
build this out as we start to engage in more sprint cycles. But we want to kind of have a pretty good agreement on if we're going to use it. If it's not going to work, it's just going to fall apart, right? We really want to use this Figma board as the centerpiece for this development cycle. So it's got to make sense for everybody. It's got to have utility. It's got to be a place where you're posting, things you're stuck on. And then how do we look at that as a team? How do we move that forward? So I would really help if the team wants to get into Figma and kind of build out, right, a look and feel that's going to work for your team to go through sprint cycles. And then we also shared, there's a new version of Figma. Great. That could take a while. Has everyone been able to get into Figma and take a poke around the user journeys?
Yeah. Specifically how like paid users, free users, and then new paid users have different journeys and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, fully paid new is just, it's a tutorial version, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna, yeah, my computer's running a bit slow, but you get the gist of it. Like your Figma is gonna be, the fully paid, little tutorial, little pop-up windows saying here's how you access your account, etc. So that was shared. I did get a request to share Firebase and GitHub. That's the one thing I was going to ask about. Okay, so for roles, not that it's not about not trusting that everyone should be in Firebase, but for updates to Firebase and also to the developer accounts. I feel like it would be good to have one point person in particular. How does that sound?
What we can also do is like branch off the main and then make sure like every change we do will be on a different branch, and then if it's fine and we test it and it's good, only then will we merge it in so that we don't like ruin your code base.
Totally, but that's what I mean about like in terms of the merger. Can we assign a role as like the merger? Because I'm going around granting access to these accounts now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm capable of doing merging. I think in my Agile project, I was in charge of doing branch merges.
Sweet. And who is that that spoke? Sorry, I got
Sebastian. Sorry.
Sebastian. Okay. So I'm going to make that as a note, Sebastian. Obviously, if the team meets internally, you can add to that. But let me know because I do want to I want to send these Firebase invitations out probably tomorrow and get the GitHub invitations out tomorrow as well. You guys are already communicating on, you said it was Discord?
Yeah.
So we're not going to worry about Slack. Don't worry about that. And then the last thing was, have you guys had any more conversations this last week about the different Scrum roles or the different kind of roles within the Scrum methodology? AKA, I guess my biggest question is there someone on the team that would like to act as the Scrum Master? And I don't know, Chris, this is a great opportunity. If you've observed how the Agile method actually takes root in a team, if it's a lot, how it's been sorted out in the past, I'd love some insight.
Well, generally, my sort of role is a little more hands-off than that. I am meant to be kind of keeping track of their progress and touching base with them to see how things are going. But generally speaking, it's up to the team to kind of make those decisions. Like I will try not to interfere with the development or those kind of role choices.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks for that.
Which I understand isn't very helpful, but that's kind of what my role is.
No, totally. No, I mean, yeah, clarity is always good. So, once we get into and we're not quite there yet, but we'll probably, hopefully, be able to get 3 or 4 sprint cycles in this semester. I think
the plan is 4.
The plan is 4. Okay, great. So, in that case, I guess what I'm saying is, if I'm not going to be probably in the kind of the Discord conversations, but it would be good to have someone who can accept this role maybe more as a Scrum Master.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally down to be the Scrum Master.
Was that Sebastian again?
That was Aiden.
Aiden, that was Aiden. Okay, thanks, Aiden. Perfect. So I think I see myself more as the product owner. I'm happy to look at some of the backlog periodically. I want to partake in the retrospective at the end of the sprint with the team. And obviously now we're setting this product vision together. I mean, there's no other external stakeholders, but so
we'd be happy to invite you.
I could get. Sorry, go ahead.
We'd be happy to invite you to the Discord as well if you want to join.
Yeah.
Our discussions, we can send you invite link through email after this.
That'd be wonderful. That'd be awesome. That's it for me. I want to hand it over to you guys because I know you're ready to kind of talk about the product vision. Any questions on anything I talked about?
No, seems good with me.
Actually, I have a small question. I have a question.
Sorry?
I have a question about some Scrum stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to be involved, like if we have our sprint planning and sprint reviews, would you want to be involved in that process?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Even just as, I don't want to step on toes. I mean, I love that, was it Aiden or Andre that wants to be the Scrum Master?
Aiden. I mean,
Aiden. Thank you. I don't want to step on those toes. A lot of that hands-on day-to-day is the Scrum Master. But yeah, absolutely. The sprint planning and review.
Okay.
Yeah.
Note that down. Yeah.
Thank you. Marcus, are you taking notes?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for taking them. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, do you want a quick review of what our schedule looks like as it relates to sprints for the semester?
Yeah, great.
So within it, we're going to have aim for 3 to 4 deliverables to you, and these deliverables should be fully functioning code, as in you can just plug it in and it'll work, and we'll provide the documentation with it, and there should be no issues among this. This will be over 7 sprints, and we have 4 major milestones, which will be the 4 deliverables. So our first sprint will be starting on the 23rd, and about every 2 weeks or 1 week will be 1 sprint. It's effectively every week that there's not a Monday off will count as a sprint due to holiday. And then 7 sprints total from September 23rd to November 18th or November 25th. And then within that, we were looking at the features and specifically what we thought was workable for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as we spoke in the last meeting, the IoT integration, that's not necessarily our strong suit. So we were going to leave that to the side, and you were okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that really sums up the last time we talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and just as a refresher, the reason is we have had this app open a door through a pretty standard um, protocol, and we think that that can pretty easily be um, applied to a different kind of microcontroller. So, and also looking at the skill set and the nature of this course, 100%. I think if there isn't, and I'll keep you updated. I'm going to have a meeting next week, kind of a consultation with someone who does a lot of Raspberry Pi, Arduino stuff in this regard. So I'll just keep you guys up to speed on how that's going. There might be a moment where it's like, hey, um, we've got something set up. Can we have a session to try to connect them? But it wouldn't be a major feature. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I for the like allowing users to add their own things, like when I was looking into it, I think that I'm not entirely sure how doable this is within our working semester, because the work breakdown was basically the database would need to be remodeled a bit because now every item will require its owner. It needs to have some kind of status to know if it's dropped off, because you wanted to allow the users to put their item up, but not necessarily put it in the locker, so that they could keep it at home, and then someone messages them, "Hey, I want to rent this item," and then they go down to the locker and leave it there, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it would require some restructuring of the database, and then and then there's a couple other like core features that I analyzed and was like, hey, each of these users will now need their own like effective admin page where they can see all their items, they can remove it, they can change the details about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then along with this, they would need another page. Oh, I guess it could be included in the admin page, but it'd be another page that would bring up a way to post all of their own items, like fill in all this information, and all the things they need to make the post. And then there's also some kind of notification or messaging system around it, and specifically when people rent this item from them, it will then it will like notify them, or like maybe there'll be a message like I want to pick this item up like within the next 2 days, kind of thing. Like, would you prefer it to be more of a messaging thing or more like automated? You just get a notification, like X user wants to borrow this from you, and then you just go down and drop it off.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a messaging thing, but there would be some kind of notification that like, hey, this item has been requested from your personal library and it's required by this date. Can
Yeah,
you confirm that it can be dropped off? So
yeah,
there'd be some communication there. Um, so yeah, definitely understanding. Thanks for looking into that. This is good insight into what it would entail.
yeah. So I came up with 4 other deliverables that weren't specifically that, and it would be like I think the impact reporting is like doable as a deliverable. Then we would
Okay.
have a Stripe integration, and then like for you have the new features list, but you also have the browse like the other features above, like how to edit categories displayed, requesting items, reviewing items, and then
Yeah,
shortlisting or harding items.
yeah. Maybe I didn't. Uh,
And then we could
more.
like roll that all
Yeah.
into one where we overhaul the browse functionality of the app. Like how do users interact with it? How do they scroll, making sure everything is in there that you specifically want?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what I would recommend is, let's get into the app, let's get into the GitHub, let's make sure the appropriate version is within the iOS and Android developer accounts, and let's open up the internal testing environment to the team. Let's get the team with it on the phone, and let's have the team look at the browse functionality.
All right.
Because my recollection is they did quite a bit of work on it in
All right.
2023. And so, yeah, it's got it. Sorry, your statement of work needs to be signed by the 23rd. Is that what you said?
Yes. Like we're supposed to have like items that we can fully finish. So, and if we don't necessarily finish it, like we'll lose marks kind of thing.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna work kind of hard to get you guys into the GitHub. And
Even just as viewers. Like
yeah,
you
let's
don't
get
need to give us edit rights yet.
well, let's get you in. That's fine. Let's get you into GitHub and let's see, and then Firebase, and then has anyone in the team who's familiar with, or is anyone familiar with, um, like launching an app into the Android or iOS testing environment? Nobody. Okay.
We haven't learned any app development in the courses yet.
Okay.
Mobile app development. We know how to make
Yeah, mobile app.
web apps.
Right. Okay. Let me make note of that. I might have to reach out to the last person that helped us deploy that and see if they're available. Because that could be a lot quicker.
All right.
For everybody. I guess I realizing the hastiness of trying to get you in to really evaluate the current functionality, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that it impacts the statement of work that we sign on Monday. What time on Monday? I know I'm really pushing it, but what time on Monday? End of day?
Wait.
Yeah.
To Chris Harris, like I specifically, I'd asked earlier, is it possible that we get that pushed out a week?
I haven't heard back yet, so I would, to be safe, assume that Monday is the deadline. But in terms of what time, I think you can probably push it pretty late.
Okay. I'm going to rush to get you guys access as quickly as possible. I'll reach out to the last development team and see who deployed the app to the Android and iOS testing environment. And then you can get into it. And I haven't fully heard the explanation for what your four main milestones are, but
Yeah.
just to evaluate the current functionality to what you're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're like, yeah, we're gonna fix the browser, like the browser is gonna be, and then you deploy it, and it's already. I mean, then we just knock it out of the park. So.
Yeah.
So that might be better. But anyway, I'll rush to make it happen. I interrupted you. You were talking about.
Yeah.
The
Well,
main.
I guess like the four big categories are like, because I do see a lot of things about like admin you wanted to potentially add, like connecting featured items, editing locations on the main page, profile pictures, and then profile images, and then like how to change the browser categories. So my four main deliverables were Stripe integration, impact reporting, browsing as a whole, and then the admin page as a whole. And then along with this, we would do any bug fixes for other parts that might need it.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are good goals. Uh, can we chat a little bit about just making notes here. How we looked at this people adding their own things. What about question for you? What about so and this is just a general kind of like spitballing philosophical conversation. One of the challenges with what would happen if everybody had their own library, beyond what Aiden's demonstrated to be maybe an extensive kind of development undertaking, programming wise, would be that some people just are forgetful. Some people get busy. Some people have to run out the door to pick up their kid because daycare got canceled. So it really opens up this experience to be full of interactions that are less than optimal, right? Where you end up not getting the thing you want to
Yeah.
get. So from a service perspective, there's a vulnerability there, right? There's a little bit of a weakness in that business model. The opportunity there is that we take a 30 item locker, and instead of it being fixed at only having 30 items, if we have 10 items that are flat, or 10 lockers that are flex, right? We get to drastically increase the number of item offerings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So now we've got these 10 lockers that can, like, things get picked up, dropped off. It's great. But then there's certainly there's a threat there, right? To, hey, that person didn't drop it off. There's a missed opportunity sometimes in that, if we drop this model, people don't get to know their neighbor, right? I'm just trying to think if we can simplify this at all. And if it wasn't instantaneous, it probably wouldn't be as beneficial. Like if they notified us, like, hey, I have a blender that my friend, it's just like, it's adding this layer of bureaucracy to what's supposed to be a pretty seamless, convenient transaction. So I don't think that we would want to go that route of involving an interaction from the organization, the thingery. Any thoughts on, are we missing something? Just opening this up to the team. Are we missing an opportunity to solve this problem a different way?
I think that, like, it is solvable, but there's a lot of decisions to be made along the way, and a lot of like looking at it right now, I think there's a lot of potentials for like other features that would need to be added to make it work fully.
Right.
Like, I think it's one of those features that can very much like get away from us, where it starts simple and then it requires a lot of other things to be fully functional. Like, hey, you want these users, we really want the notification system in place for this to be functional because we need to let them know. And then we need to add like a time, like a deadline for it, where if it doesn't happen, then maybe it just gets canceled.
Right. Okay, I'm hearing what you're saying. Respecting the capacity and timelines, we could leave this for a different iteration for sure. What about in an example where we actually have a central, let's just pretend we have a central inventory that's quite vast. Picture a warehouse.
Yeah.
Same idea, 20 lockers out of 30 are fixed for the season, right? You got your vacuum and your food dehydrator. And then the other 10 are open, they're flex. But the flex now comes internally, it's an internal coordination.
Yeah, that would be a lot more like workable. Because they would just request the item and then internally it would just
do we want to
show
talk
up,
that
right?
through? It's 4:36. Do we want to allocate 10 minutes to talking that through? Or how are you? Yeah.
So you want to talk about like like a user flow on how someone requests an item and then someone else will deliver the item to the Flex storage?
Yeah, it would be but someone else would now be a Thingery staff, right?
Oh.
So it's operating on a similar model that you see like those Moby like Bixie bikes or Moby bikes. Like someone's driving around repositioning those bikes deep in the middle of the night. It's a similar model. It's a centralized distribution model that's trying to accommodate to this flex space where now our inventory is huge because it's including the inventory available in the warehouse. And someone says, "Oh, I'm going on a camping trip," and maybe we set a 4-day like lag time. Like you're not going to get it tomorrow, but if you want to book it in for next Tuesday, we can have it delivered to one of the 10 flex lockers, right?
Right.
So we can work the logistics, the transportation, all that delivery logistics internally, but trying to allow for this inventory to expand beyond the physical locker space, right? That we're adding these 10 flex idea. So if there's a centralized inventory system, what would that look like? Someone would reserve it in the same way that they're reserving an item that's there. But it would have to be a distinction visually for the user, right? That item isn't available right now. Because
Yes.
sometimes people like to go down into this, right? And they like, oh, okay, the inventory says it's there. I'm going to go get it. There's a very common expectation of a live inventory system. It must be there because they have 1,000 items. Well, actually, we only have 30 there right now, or 20, sorry. But you can request some, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, there'd have to be there'd have to be like a 2 to 4 day delay that shows on the screen. There should be two different icons, maybe that say like this one is in stock and this one's in warehouse, and then next to that it would be like 2 to 4 up to 4 days before it can be sent to the box that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And then after they request it, like it could send like a notification or something, maybe to the admin page or another specific page so that that warehouse would be notified.
We could keep it even simpler. It could just change the status of it could just go from, or an item status could be in the locker, out of the locker, damaged and missing, or requested for delivery. And
yeah,
then
like pending.
And then what we could do internally is just run a daily report or run an hourly report, whatever, of what's been requested to be delivered. If you wanted to simplify it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that track?
Yeah.
Does that make it? Yeah? Okay. Well, how does everyone feel about that kind of pivot?
So would we have to add statuses to the items, or do they already have like statuses?
They already have statuses in the database.
Okay, never mind.
But they might need more.
Yeah, they will need more.
Yeah.
Currently, it's set to like 3 different statuses that it can be between, but never mind. The status is different from the availability, but we can change the availability a bit, and then throw in extra details on the status, and then every time the item gets requested, we just change the location ID as well to the location they're requesting it at.
Great. Yeah. I think that's a pretty great plan that we just kind of thought of in 5 minutes. So that sounds good to me. Thanks everyone for jumping in that ideation. I think that would be beneficial to try to go that route. And then, in a way, one of the weaknesses of the proposal we were chatting about was that sometimes people don't connect to make their delivery. Well, now we're guarding ourselves against that, right? So we'd only have ourselves to blame in turn. And very well, it could be that our inventory in this warehouse becomes donated from the community, right? That is very common.
Right.
For lending libraries. Vancouver Zoo Library, it's 85% of the inventory is done. And they have now, after running for 11 years, they have great inventory. So, people can still contribute to the inventory, not in that kind of peer-to-peer connection way. But I think Aiden has done good job explaining why that undertaking would be more than we have the time for this semester. So if you want to update that in the scope of the functionality, it sounds like that could work for everybody. One thing I want to add as we're chatting is I'm realizing that the way that we did the checkout, the way it used to work is you could reserve an item, but the items didn't have individualized locations from within the container.
Oh, like locker number blank, right?
Yes. So we haven't developed a locker number system. So there, in addition to the location code, there'd have to be like a locker location code.
All right.
Or even like a QR code for each locker.
Well,
That could
just
help.
for the database, like maybe we
Oh.
add like a lockers table where, hey, this locker
Yeah.
is at location, and then
Yeah.
each one has a unique ID,
I see.
and then it can have the dimension of the locker, so to make sure each item can fit in their respective locker.
Oh, I like that. And then, then we'd have to also include item dimension, which couldn't just be volume, because a projector screen is 5 feet high and only 5 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
So,
Or we could just have like small, medium, large too. Large is like a lawnmower and small is like a hammer.
yeah, I think the bulk of the work would actually be for me to do, which is to input the individual measurements of each item. But when we do CNC the lockers, we do have about 4 standard types. So you guys, it wouldn't be that much on your end, I think. Which I could give you the 4 standard measurements of the lockers that we're building, and then I can in future input all the dimensions. But as long as there's a way to match that, I think that was your point, right, Aiden? It's like, will it fit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a great function to have, and I can create some test dummy data for that. Cool. Great. So that's can you go, Aiden, would you mind, and would anyone mind if we went over the timeline for sprint cycles one more time?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Let me find it. So ideally, like we have the project plan finalized and signed by you by next Monday.
Okay.
And this project plan will outline exactly everything we're going to do, and that it's an agreement that we will give you these features like fully finished. Then we start our first sprint next week. Next week, where we'll start like working on the first sprint. And how it'll work is we'll have like 4 separate deliverables. We'll focus on each deliverable for about 2-3 weeks, and then have it fully finished, and then probably integrated with the main code. So sprint 1 starts September 23rd, and then we'll have our retrospective on that first sprint October 7th. And while we might not necessarily have the entire first deliverable done by then, it should be pretty close to being done. And then our second milestone will end on October 21st. And this is where we'll have a big review of the project. We'll quickly review where we're at within it. We'll do some usability testing, and then after that, we start our next milestone, development and testing. Yeah, and then we start our next milestone where we work on that for the next 4 weeks until, I believe, November 18th. And then we have another big review of the project and see where it is. For the sprint retrospectives, though, we are supposed to have one every week. So we can every week we can connect with you. Are you okay with weekly meetings?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
For
every
sure.
week we'll connect with you. We'll say what we
Yeah.
did, like currently what we're doing, quick struggle like struggles with anything. And I feel our weekly meetings shouldn't be too long, like maybe 30 minutes.
Does
Um,
Wednesday work good for, and are the sprints a week long?
some of them are 2 weeks long. For every
Yeah.
time there's a holiday that is
Yeah.
associated with the 2 week sprint.
Okay, so you had said before you're thinking there's gonna be 7 sprints?
Yeah, that's how many we have.
Yeah.
One, two, three, and three of those are double week sprints. So,
Okay, some are 1 week, some are 2 weeks. Okay, got it.
and
And
then
how does Wednesday work for that as a weekly meeting?
like specifically what we'll do, or
No, I just mean that like right now our recurring meeting is on Wednesday.
I
How
think
does
we,
that fall within the sprint cycle for you guys?
honestly like a bit awkward, but I think what we'll do, like we should have our sprints finished by Monday, and what we can do on the Wednesdays, we can review the previous sprint that we did, and then
Yeah.
we'll be about 2 days into the new sprint where we'll start working on like something else, and then we can see what went wrong or what went well with the last one, and then apply it to the current sprint we're working in.
Okay. Is there a is the preferable day Monday then?
Probably, yes.
Okay. Well,
We should be
I
we should be like fully all of us should be fully free on Mondays.
around like probably in the afternoon or something, or like around this time, because we.
yeah, my Mondays are booked up from 4 to 5,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I have a class from 5 to 6:15. I'm taking a SolidWorks course to try to learn how to use that. So that's 5 to 6:15.
Maybe like
Um,
we could aim for like 12, 1 or 2.
I think most of us should be free Monday mornings.
Oh, I thought we
Monday
had.
mornings we for Monday we'll probably be busy until 11
Yeah.
ish.
yeah. Who just as a like just testing the temperature? Is Wednesdays at 4 that awkward to the
I think
point?
it's fine, honestly.
No.
We can hold off on doing the major like the major week will likely be done over the weekend anyways.
Okay, I just think like I don't want you guys to hate this meeting because it's Monday at lunch. Like no one likes losing their lunch. So I'd rather I'd rather just if it's not too awkward, keep it to a time where you know we're all feeling pretty good. And so, but if it's really not working, we can. I'm just saying I'm flexible. Obviously not until 6 on Mondays, but Tuesdays I could do it. So um, yeah. Do you want to change it to Tuesdays?
When I looked at our schedules, Tuesdays were really hard for us to work around.
Okay, let's keep it. Let's keep it this time. And if
Yeah.
it's feeling super awkward, we can revisit that? Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so 7 sprints, some are 2, somewhat or 1 week. Project plan signed by September 23rd. We get a retrospective October 21st, but usually there's a retrospective every week or every sprint cycle, probably. And then we've got milestone 2 starts after that with the due date of November 18th. And is that the last? Is milestone 18? Milestone 2 the last one?
Oh, wait, sorry. Milestone 2 is like October 21st. Then we have milestone 3 for November 18th, and then
Oh, okay.
milestone 4 for November 25th. And I think each milestone is supposed to be a deliverable. So what ends up happening is one of these deliverables is supposed to be a week long. And for like my notes, I put that as Stripe because I think it is the least probably the least amount of the work for the 4 deliverables.
Yeah.
And what to add in the like how having a flexible inventory with like the range of items and then changing how the locker database is structured, we'll probably have that as like the second deliverable, and we'll put the browse stuff more in the first deliverable, which will
Okay.
be, I believe, one, two, three full weeks to work on, and that'll give us time to get familiar with the code
Okay.
as well.
Great. And then what is October like? Like when do midterms start for you guys?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's the I believe it's the third week in October.
Okay. So that's right about on our milestone 2, right?
I think the bulk of our work will be done in the like first couple weeks of October.
Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Great. Thanks for helping me understand some of that. And Andy, it sounds like you got this written down somewhere. If you just want to share that with
Oh,
me.
I can send you like the ISSP schedule.
Great.
Is there no way to download this? Is it okay if I send it to you after the meeting?
Absolutely. Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
having issues downloading it.
Okay. Do we want to run over the tasks for next meeting?
For next meeting, it'll be next Wednesday. So we should have everything locked in there, unless we can get the finalized project plan pushed out a week. So our next meeting we'll bring a risk register. I think everything will be signed by you by that point. So
Yeah.
we'll be starting on our first set of tasks. Um,
We'll want to be reviewing the GitHub code as well before Wednesday.
I don't see a lot of tasks we need by next week because we won't be having any sprint retrospective and we won't have much work to analyze yet.
Yeah, we'll mostly be making the proposal.
And I'm inviting Sebastian to Firebase, is that right?
I believe as like a GitHub branch manager,
Okay.
but also Firebase. If like both, I've never used Firebase personally.
Does anyone use Firebase here?
No.
Okay. That's cool. I think it's pretty intuitive. Yeah. Chris is nodding, so that's good. Okay. Okay, great.
If I can interject one thing, I think Sebastian's point is something you, if you do need tasks to kind of fill in that meeting next week, discussing any kind of, assuming everybody can get access to and I'm kind of directing this more at the team. If you can get access to the GitHub and look at some code by then, there may be some questions there that'll come up. So that could be a thing that you could kind of schedule to discuss. It may be that there's nothing to discuss, but at least it's like a point of discussion.
Great. Sure.
And the reason I say that is because ideally we want that stuff ironed out as soon as possible, right? We want to be like pushing ahead on development next week without too many unknowns.
Yeah. I've got a couple things. I'm going to invite the Firebase GitHub and the developer accounts. I'm going to reach out to the former developer about the developer accounts. Yeah. And Aiden, you're going to send me the little deadline list or program outline. And someone can invite me to Discord, please. Okay, that sounds good.
All right. I mean, so like to quickly rehash the 4 deliverables, or
Yeah.
I think you put it differently, but it will be one, admin page and browse, just as a general thing. Any
Yep.
added features? Uh, I think there was like a specific question we wanted to ask you about how you wanted the profile pictures to be, but I wasn't the one that looked into it. And then
I think I'd written something cringy like the profile picture should be cute or something.
I think so as well, but I think it was
Yeah.
more about do you want them to automatically be generated or something along the lines of that?
I think that's where I was going. Yeah, is like let's have a set of kind of default profile pictures. Would be great.
Okay. Yeah.
How many would be preferable? Like how many default profile pictures?
Oh, it's a great question. We could definitely find some money to kind of like purchase a set if you can, like if you find pre-designed, in a database of images, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd leave it up to you to make a recommendation. Yeah.
All right.
50, 30,
30.
how
Okay.
many is, yeah. How many does Google have? How many different when you join a Google Drive or Google, how many did they?
I think it might just be one, for all I know. But you can
You're,
upload your own.
I think he's
No,
talking
it's
about
always like, oh, go ahead.
small animals in the
Oh,
Google
there's a lot.
Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be worth it to make, a few designs based off of like something real, like animals, just like low poly animal icons, and randomize the colors to give the effect of there being more of them.
Yeah, we also have a designer on contract so we can bring them in
All right.
if needed.
All right.
Yeah.
So-
And then, sorry, you were in the middle of going through the deliverables.
Yeah, so admin page and browse is the first one. The second one would be changing, like it'd be some database changes for lockers and a flexible inventory system is what I labeled it as.
Yep.
Where like some items will be requestable and then they'll show up at a specific locker within 2 to 4 days.
Right.
And then our third one would be impact reporting.
Right.
Yeah. And I think in the second deliverable, I will probably work on the database to also add the features for impact reporting, and then we'll just go through it on the third. And then for impact reporting, you want us to be making wireframes, right? And user flow for that. I don't think it'll be too much. It'll be go to your profile, you click impact reporting, and it'll show you a page saying, hey, you've saved this much money, this much space, this much CO2, and this much like waste product or landfill.
Sorry, I lost you guys there for a sec. I think your question, Aiden, was
Like wireframes and user
about the
frames
impact reporting.
for impact reporting.
Yeah, we'd want a user journey for the impact reporting function, and we'd want some wireframes. Yeah, I mean, it depends on you might want, I mean, this is a good example of kind of setting like, here's what we need, here are some stretch goals.
Yeah.
Like numbers, like if we had number of kilograms diverted, that's great. If we wanted to like create a chart or like some accompanying kind of images to, make the report feel like more than just a number. You know what I mean? Like
Okay,
we can
I'll
add some
put
graphics.
that in as a stretch goal.
Yeah. I think I showed you guys last time that the Toronto bike share app, it was pretty basic, right? It was like a dollar sign and it said how much money you saved, and it was like, here's how far you traveled, how many minutes you biked, how many calories you burned. But this is something that we almost want to we want to have a little more pop.
Yeah.
Where someone can kind of look at that and go, wow, I've saved a lot of money, I've diverted a lot of waste, so I would just say like in the wireframes, it's going to probably be low fidelity.
All right.
But make the space for it to have pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And where possible, kind of add a little bit of that if there's time. So. And the good news on that is I just put an application into the BCIT Sustainable Business Leadership course for next semester, where they would actually do the impact measurement and reporting, which might help us, like, for example, put values to each of the items.
Yes.
CO2, and then, so, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say my goal for that was just, I'll put those as spaces in the database, and then when the item is created, those values will just be put in. But there's currently no way I can think of to put those values in. Like, it's more like, when, like, Thingery as the company, like, puts an item up to rent, you'll put in the cost, the RSP cost, how many kilograms of waste it would have produced, and the CO2, and then how much space it takes, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Great. That's probably going to require, I'm going to just, is there a lead on each of these, or is the whole team embracing each of these?
In theory, we should all work on each deliverable, like, one by one. But we might end up splitting it into like a development team and a testing team.
Oh, cool. That's fun. Okay. I was just thinking, I'll dig through. Has everyone looked at our impact page on our website? I'm gonna throw it in the chat. Where's our chat?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Take a look. You'll get a sense of some of the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, I remember looking through this when I was writing. We have to do a presentation on Monday about the project we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned about the greenhouse gas and waste kilogram offset figures. I looked at it through here.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you kind of get a sense of, if you scroll up to the Navy background where it's talking about the example of boring or projector, that's the kind of numbers we're going to be creating. Pretty basic, but yeah. So, but I should probably work with. I'll do some preparation to look at what are the different values that we would want to assign to each item. And we talked about this a little bit last time. It's like the assumptions change,
Yeah.
but we would want to allow for the values, and then we'd be pulling from those values depending on the usage. So we take a user who's borrowed it 3 times and say that you've saved this much money. Yeah, so we kind of got to build that out a bit.
Yeah.
Like, what are the values, and how does that relate to the reporting? But I'm glad you guys chose that. It's great to see that there. Cool. Okay, 5:07. I know I booked it till 5:15, but I usually just do that in case it runs over. So, anything else to add to today's meeting?
I'm pretty happy with everything we covered. Oh,
Yeah. So Chris, do you have a Discord account?
I don't. Oh,
Okay. So
do I?
you'll have to make one and then send me, or send anyone your username, so then we can add you to the Discord. That's all.
I think we might be able to send an invite
Oh, okay.
over in the next email we send. We'll include a Discord link to join the channel.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody. Nice to see everyone. 3 things. Sign the NDA. And if you haven't had a chance, go through Figma, and poke around in Figma. And that's all.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks.
Chris, nice to meet
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye guys.
Thanks. See
Thanks
you later.
so much.
Yeah.
Bye.